Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 3-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight, we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Tasheka Green. A little bit about her. Dr. Tasheka Green is a transformational servant leader who leads with the heart of a servant, but the mind of a leader. She views leadership not as a job or career, but a calling with a greater purpose. Dr. Green has over 18 years of experience as an educator. She's an inspirational speaker, influential coach, 8 times best-selling author, and international best-selling author, entrepreneur, philanthropist, talk show host, and the founder, president, and chief executive officer of To Everything There Is a Season Enterprises, which comprises of the following entities: the Deborah C. Offer Bojan Business and Leadership Development Institute, To Everything There Is a Season Publishing, the Deborah C. Offer Bojan Memorial Foundation, Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence Award, Signature by William Green, and I am a QT Queen in Training. She serves with a focus to support individuals and organizations in identifying the gifts and talents within themselves and providing them with the systems, structures, and resources to fulfill their purpose. Dr. Green is the Chief Educational Strategy Consultant for To Everything There Is a Season Enterprises. Her competency in education and innovative coaching techniques influences personal, professional development, and organizational change. Because of her competency with bringing coherence to improving culture, systems, structures, and people, Dr. Green is sought after by many. The work of Dr. Green garnered her feature in the Harvard University School of Education, Harvard X course, Introduction to Data Wise, a collaborative process to improve learning and teaching. A scholarly and virtuous woman of extraordinary faith, vision, talent, presence, and accomplishments have allowed her to obtain a plethora of recognitions and awards. Dr. Green is an example of when preparation meets opportunity, the end result is success. She loves God and radiates with the joy of the Lord. Dr. Green is married to William Green Sr., and she has a beautiful daughter named Michaela, who just wrote an awesome book. By the way, congratulations to her. We have the amazing Dr. Tasheka Green. Welcome to the table.
Thank you, Ashley Little. I'm so happy to be here tonight to share with so many people that are listening, so thank you.
You are welcome. I am honored, Dr. Green, and humbled to be able to bring you to the table tonight. I know you're going to leave us with some wisdom, knowledge, and some amazing nuggets to continue to grow and walk in our purpose. So would you please tell us about your entrepreneur journey?
Yes. So my entrepreneur journey actually began back in 2014. It was birthed out of losing my mother. In 2010, I lost my mother of stage 4 stomach cancer. She was 53 years old. She was diagnosed in February, and on March 30th, 2010, she had passed away. And when she had passed away, she had so much in her that she could not get out of herself. And so at that point in time, I just realized the urgency and the importance around helping others to identify what's on the inside of them and to walk in their purpose and to fulfill their assignment. And so with that being said, when I started in 2014, it really just started out as just doing a work to celebrate and to honor my mother. So it was To Everything There Is a Season incorporation, which we just were basically functioning to raise funds, to give out scholarships to students in college, also to honor women and honor people who have made an impact. So that's how it all started out. And also I had written my first book, which was called To Everything There Is a Season, Go and Live, because it seemed like during that time every season I was just going through something different, from the losing my mother in the spring to in the summertime turning around and birthing my daughter, Michaela. So when I started that in 2010, it just started very small and still trying to find my way around it and what to do, and, going out and, writing books and promoting my books and speaking and things of that nature. But in 2018, my entrepreneur role stepped up to a whole nother level. And so with that being said, I actually was eliminated from my position in 2018. I was at an executive level position. I was basically at will. I had nothing that would cover me, and that with the changing of leadership that, they can come in and they can do some restructuring and reorganization of everything and basically say, we don't want you. No questions asked, nothing, conversation. Your position will be eliminated, and you have 45 days. And, I do share that, I was offered something actually at that time, but what I was offered, it made me step back and really say, this is what you think of me. And what I realized is that you have to understand your worth. You are, and I've been actually reaching out to women this week talking about Proverbs 31:10, of how you are, your price is far above rubies. And if you understand how much a ruby is worth, a ruby can be worth almost $100,000 for 1 carat. You're far above that. You can't even be compared to a natural stone. You are priceless. And so because I understood my worth, and I understand the value of it, and I'm sorry if other people didn't see that, but I understand that I can't cast my pearls to swines. And so with that being said, I did not accept that job. And so when I didn't accept it, when I hung the phone up, Ashley, immediately I just cried, because I didn't know if I didn't cry because I was losing my job and didn't know what tomorrow held. I lost my job because something inside of me had activated what was already inside of me that should have given birth a long time ago. But God had put me in a situation where I had to be violently interrupted so that I could be allowed back to the purpose that He intended for my life from the beginning. And so I said all that to say that has been my entrepreneur journey, that it started out from the loss of my mother, but it birthed into what God intended for me to do, because the door He closed so that I could walk into all these other opportunities that was presented before me. And I say all the time, it's already in Deuteronomy 18 that God has created, you have the conditions to create the wealth. You have to create the things that you need. It's inside of you. You just have to acknowledge it and use it. And so that is my entrepreneur journey, and that's why I'm here today. And each thing that you mentioned in my bio, is an output of something that I have gone through, an experience, and it has birthed that. And so that's why I'm here today, as to Everything There Is a Season Enterprises.
You know what, listeners, I told you we were going to have an amazing show tonight. Dr. Green, a bad girl. Dr. Green, I just want to, this is just a one question. I'm already over here moved off my, seat, everybody. So I know everybody's on edge right now because she's a bad girl. Dr. Green, I just want to say thank you for creating that space, taking your pain, right?
Yes.
And now you have multiple businesses. I mean, when I say Dr. Green is always reaching back and pulling forward, is doing some amazing things, you're a prime example of don't quit in the middle of the process, right? A lot of us don't want to go through the process. We want to run from the process. We want the accolades, but we don't want the process, and that's the most important part. And you wrote a book on the process that was so exemplifies everything that you went through. To everything there is a season, because that is so true.
Yes, that is. And it's funny you said that, talked about process, because I always talk about process, because you hear all the time people say, trust the process. But you have to understand what you're trusting. And so when I say that, I even said this morning, you are a work in progress walking through a process that results in God's intended plan for your life. Progress makes you better, but process gets you to the goal. And so while you're trusting the process, you're really trusting that intended plan that God has for your life. And so you have to understand that a process is just simply a series of events that get to a particular end. In the end, God has something good for you. But like you said, Ashley, you have to go through it. And many people see the promise, they see the product, but they don't understand the process in which people go through to get to where they are. So within my books that I wrote, each one of them, I'm very transparent around the process that I went through so that the progress for me to get better into the end. So to everything there's a season. I talked about my mother's, the season of going through with my mom and her death. And I talked about, during that time how, even my marriage was at a place where, God, you have to help us because I don't know what's going to happen next. Going through my experience of being pregnant. So I was, having some infertility problems. And at the beginning, I had to go through a little bit of infertility and I had to take a natural element in order to sustain the viability of my pregnancy. And then during the pregnancy, they thought, my daughter had a risk for Down syndrome. All of this was going through that time. And I share all of that. But but the end of it says, to everything there's a season, but in due season you'll reap if you faint not. And so through all of that I went through, just not being weary and well doing and not fainting, was able to reap some of the things of the seeds that were sown. And then in the book after that, I'm still here living a purposeful life. So even after that, life still happened. Life still happened. Life still continues to give you things that you don't expect. And so in the midst of all of that, that's when I wrote the book. I'm still here. No matter what's going on, I'm still here living a purposeful life. And it's so funny because even today, I wrote that book in 2016. Even today, 3 years later, it's still relevant because after losing my job, people was like, well, what are you going to do? And people was like, I can't believe you didn't accept that. Well, you will settle, but I'm not going to settle because if I settle, then I basically, like I said, will deactivate my faith and say, God, I don't trust you. But if my life is in his hand, and Jeremiah 29 says that his plans is not to harm us, but it's to bring us hope in a future, and so we can, prosper, then why wouldn't I just say, okay, I'm good, and I'm just going to sit and wait for what God has for me to do? And I know we're going to talk about this a little later, but how do you understand your purpose? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit later, but I don't want to continue because, I could go on because I'm so passionate about this. And not only am I passionate about this, but I'm compassionate about people. And I want people to be successful, and I want people to be great, and I want people to really understand who they are and walk in that.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She practices what she preaches. So, Dr. Green, you're just awesome. So, what are the keys to? You are welcome. What are the keys? Because I know you're a big believer in living, purposeful life, and that's what you do every day. So, what are the keys to finding your life purpose? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. So, could you help us out tonight?
Yes. So one thing I want to say all the time is that we're so many people are just busy rather than being purposeful. And so, you know how most times, and I get this a lot too, like, oh, I know you're busy, and I know you're busy, and things of that nature. And I always say, no, I'm not busy, I'm purposeful, because everything I do now has to matter. It has to count. I don't have time to go back and redo things anymore. That happened before. The choices that I made that weren't purposeful choices, but rather busy choices, guess what? Now you look back on it, it's like, oh my God, why did I do that? You have these regrets and things of the nature, and you begin to react to those things. And I said, no, it's no more of that. It's being positively purposeful around everything you do. And the one way for you to do that is just to get quiet. Just to get quiet and stop being busy. I say this all the time, is that when you're busy, you cannot hear the sound because you're listening to so many noises. Noises annoy you, but a sound will resonate you and will get you to going in the direction in which you need to go. And so I say to people, if you really want to know your true purpose and what it is, just sit down and get quiet. Just sit down and get quiet and listen for the voice on the inside. And the voice is only God. Just listen to God's voice because he created you. He's the one that chose you. He's the only one that can tell you what your purpose is. So stop seeking people out. You can't call Coach Tasheka and say, tell me what my purpose is. I'm sorry.
Right.
God is only talking to you about your purpose, but I can help you to acknowledge what's on the inside of you and perhaps use that towards what you were called to do. And so no one can tell you. I just want to make it clear, all these coaches out here, Ashley, nobody can tell nobody their purpose. It's plain and simple, period, because they did not create you. They did not set you apart. They did not choose you. Only God can do that. So sit down, sit still, listen to the voice, and walk in that. And then once you begin to walk in that, then that's when you build up yourself a network of people that can help you and give you the resources and help you with the systems and the structures that you need so that you can be able to fulfill it.
Sit down, sit still, listen to the voice, and walk in it.
And walk in it. That's it.
You got to get quiet. You're right. We have to silence the noise. Correct, Dr. Green? Silence the noise.
Exactly. Silence the noise and listen to the sound. And also stop being deceived. Stop being deceived by what you see, and then you become then you become attracted to that. And so many people are attracted to things that is not what their purpose is. We look at this and say, oh, that's what I want to become, or that's what I want to do. Wait a minute. You haven't seen anybody do what you've done yet. That's why you have this burning passion on the inside of you that has to come out. And so you should be looking at is putting up the mirror and looking at yourself and start making those affirmations for yourself of who you are and what you are becoming.
We should only be competing with ourselves, right?
That's it. That's it, and that's all.
So, Dr. Green, what makes a purposeful life? I know you touched on it a little bit, but if you could touch on a little bit more about what makes a purposeful life, because that's important.
So what makes a purposeful life? I think of these three questions at the end of the day, Ashley, and I actually these are not my questions. I actually did a lot of work with the Arbiter Institute around leadership and self-deception, and really understanding your influence and your impact on people and how you look at people as people rather than an object or vehicle or just simply irrelevant. And so what makes a purposeful life is really simply this. At the end of the day, ask yourself these questions. Who did I help? Who did I service to make things go right? And who did I hinder? And so if you could answer those three questions around who did you help today, who did you serve today or help somebody to go right, and perhaps who did I hinder? Who did I hold up from something today? Then that makes a purposeful life, because so many people are sitting there waiting for this epiphany around purpose and a purposeful life. And it's simply this. It's just one, first, honoring God and acknowledging Him, and then serving and helping people and loving them to the place where you want people to get to. That's what it's about. And you will have so much happiness, so much gratitude, so much peace when you start moving more out of the I and moving more into the we.
Into the we. That's so important. Dr. Green, you just said a mouthful, because serving and helping people, that's so important, right? And we have to be okay if the person passed us, right? We have to be okay with that. We have to stop competing, and we have to stop being jealous. We have to be happy for each other, right? Because we don't know what that person's process was, like you spoke about earlier. So that's why we have to be happy for people, because you don't know what it took for their wins that they have now.
Exactly. And, there's a quote, Ashley, and it simply says a woman, but I don't want to just, leave it at a woman. I just want to say a woman or a man who walks in purpose doesn't have to choose people or opportunities. His light or her light causes people and opportunities to pursue them. So when you're really walking in purpose, you don't have to go chasing for nothing. You don't have to go searching stuff down. You don't have to go paying for opportunities. I mean, let's have some real talk. When you are really, when your light is shining, it cannot be put out. It is like a city that sits on a hill. And so people will come looking for you and seeking you out. And even most recently, I know you read my bio around me doing work at, with Harvard and everything. And most recently, within a couple of weeks ago, they had reached back out to me, and they were asking me to come out next week to actually do a leadership institute, to be a teaching fellow. And you know what did my heart well? It wasn't even that. It wasn't even the fact that the invitation and the opportunity was there. This is what they said at the end, Ashley. They said, if your time permits, because we know how engaged you are with To Everything There's a Season. Now, the people at Harvard know how engaged I am with To Everything There's a Season. So let me tell you, that's what happens when you let your light shine. Yes. Opportunities come looking for you, and guess what? Yes. You have the right thing. You have choices to say yes or say not at this time.
Right. Chase the impact, right, Dr. Green? Chase the impact.
Exactly.
I love it. So why is it so important to know who you are and to be spiritually grounded when walking in your purpose? Because that's the key there, too. That's key, spiritually grounded. Let's touch on that tonight.
That is the key, because we have to understand that there is nothing that we have is of our own. I don't care how much and not only of your own, is nobody else's own. Don't give yourself the credit, and don't give nobody else the credit. I don't care if you got the hookup or if you had somebody that you know that needs somebody that you know. I don't care if you, like I said, whatever it is, you can't give yourself the credit or nobody else, because God will shut it down. He says, acknowledge me in all thy ways, and I will direct your path. And it's in me that I live. It's in him that I live, move, and have my being. I can't do nothing without first consulting with God, because there's a difference between a good choice and a godly choice. And I'd rather be walking in a godly choice than a good choice. And so you have to understand that you have to be rooted and grounded spiritually, because when you start to own everything and start taking the glory for yourself, you're in a dangerous state. You're in a dangerous state, and the only person that gets all of that is God. And so that's why you have to be rooted spiritually. You have to be, and I even said this today, and Lord have mercy, I'm telling you, God, this must be real talk today. We are listening to coaches and people that have no prayer life. Then if they don't have no prayer life, then what are they speaking from? They're speaking from the realm of their knowing and their flesh. They're not speaking from the realm of hearing from God. And so we need to be careful who we listening to and who's imparting things in us. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of us sitting back and listening to folks who have no prayer life, who have no walk, who has no direction, who has no clarity, and we're sitting there and we're getting things from them and rooting them on. And so we better be careful and make sure that we understand who's supposed to be imparting into us and speaking these things. And then we wonder why we're at a place of frustration and can't move forward. Check who you listening to.
Yes, that's
I'm just
so
saying.
That's a mouthful by itself. That's a whole topic by itself, Dr. Green. And we have to be careful what we're receiving into our life. You can't receive every word of your life.
Yes.
Oh, that's a whole other topic, Dr. Green.
I know, we only got a few more minutes.
No, and now that you spoke on that, let's talk about mentorship and coaching. Why is it so important that we get the right mentorship and coaching in order for us to continue to elevate to the next level?
Yeah, because I always say that somebody out there has already achieved what you're trying to achieve or has already gone through what you are going through. And so they have the information, they have the knowledge, they have the wisdom, the understanding to either mentor you or coach you through those situations. So whatever it is, if it's starting a business, if it's trying to run a successful nonprofit, if it's trying to, just take ownership and responsibility over yourself. Like, there's people out there, there's credible people that have gone through these things. And let me tell you something, a title don't mean nothing. A certification don't mean nothing. People can fool you based on their knowledge and their competency and have no sense of application whatsoever. There's a difference. You can have the knowledge and competency, but you may not know how to apply it. And so the life principles are the applications that people have gone through that can actually help you and get you to the places that you need to go. And so it's so important. I mean, I have I wouldn't say I have a slew of them, but I have mentors and I have coaches that I look up to, and I'm going to take the S off of some of that. Mentors and coaches that I look up to, and it's very small. It's very small. It's people that I trust. It's people that I build relationships with. It's people that I've seen, go through these things and come out successful and prosperous. It's people that believe in me, and that's the importance. When you get a mentor and a coach, you better make sure that they believe in you. Even those days where you don't think you can't believe in yourself, they see something inside of you, and they can take it and pull it out of you and make you become the best you've ever been. And that's the real key. When you get a mentor and coach, you better make sure they believe in you and that they can see your vision and what you're supposed to be.
I love that. Key thing, make sure they believe in you and they can see your vision. And what are some other things that listeners can look for when they're seeking out a coach or a mentor, Dr. Green?
Say that again. Ashley, sorry to break up a little. I'm sorry.
I said, what are some other things that they can look for as well? Because I know they have to make sure that they're seeking out people who a coach and a mentor that believes in them and that believes in their vision. But is there any other things that you would say that they should be looking for when seeking out a good mentor and coach?
Yeah, I would say credibility around the work that they do, integrity about the work that they do, and also results. Like, look at the results. What results have you seen based off their mentor and their coaching? And so, when we use the word coach now, we get so tied up in certifications, like I said, and titles and going through the best program and I'm this coach and I'm that coach. But what's the result of your coaching? What has your impact made, and how is it continuing to make an impact? Because what happens when you coach and when you mentor, you impact that person who goes to impact somebody else, who goes to impact somebody else, which means this is basically what I say about a coach or a mentor, that you're sowing. And from that seed that you sow, that it continues to get water and water and water, and there's increase and there's impact and there's more. And if you're not seeing that residual based off of what you did, then there's something wrong with that. And so look at, do they believe in you? Do they have credibility, their integrity, and what are their results?
I love it. Do they believe in you? Credibility, integrity, and the results. The results.
Exactly.
Love it. So, Dr. Green, you are the Chief Educational Strategy Consultant for To Everything There Is a Season, Inc. So please tell us more about your amazing company.
Yes, Ashley. So as we shared my entrepreneur journey, in July when I was eliminated and offered something less than my working worth, and God said, everything you need is already inside of you. I have prepared you. Opportunity is here. It's time to walk in success. And so with that being said, as the Chief Educational Strategy Consultant with the business, I work with not just only school systems, but I also work with nonprofits. I work with organizations, and I do work around personal and professional coaching and development, leadership coaching, again, just helping people to really understand who they are. I take them through a reflective journey and a process to understand the talents, the skills, and the gifts that are on the inside of them. I help them to leverage those talents and those strengths so that they can make an impact on, like I say, their learners or the people that they work with. So when I work with educators, when I work with them at the central office level, helping them to understand their impact that they have on their employees. When I work with teachers at the school level, helping them to understand the impact that they have on their students and so on. And so that's really what I do. I help to develop people based off of their skills, their talents, and their strengths, help them to acknowledge it. I give them their theory and practice around it. I give them research around it and help them to actually identify these goals that they want to get better, because if they get better, whoever they're impacting will get better.
Please reach out to Dr. Green. She's doing some amazing stuff. Dr. Green, thank you for creating that space. All of this came from that pain, right? All of this came.
All of this came
from your
pain.
mom. Your mom, and then your job. All of this came from that pain. This is an example of do not stop in the middle of the process.
Do not. And I say that the pain of your process will your pain of your process will birth a passion-filled purpose. And everything, like you said, Ashley, was birthed out of my pain. It was birthed out of a loss. It was birthed out of process. It was birthed out of being alone and isolated. I think I put on the page is that, a person who knows their worth, they're not afraid to eat at the table alone. So you don't have to invite me, and I don't have to bring my own chair. I can go and sit down and be happy with me because I'm happy with me. I'm good with it. I'm at peace with me. I forgive me. And so if I can do all of that, then guess what? I can walk in this purpose and live a purposeful life.
Yes, you can, and you are doing it, Dr. Green. And I know earlier you touched on that waiting process, and I want you to elaborate on that because a lot of people, that waiting part, that's the part people don't want to really go through, like the waiting part, because it's so big on doing it yourself and really not really waiting on it, waiting on God to tell you when to move. So can you talk about that waiting process? Why is that so important?
It's so important because when you don't wait for God, you are just basically to me, I feel like it's wasted time. Or then you're going to have to go back and do a do-over. And then what if God doesn't give you that opportunity to do a do-over? Now where are you? And so it's so important. And let me tell you, I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from the mistakes that I made of not waiting and making decisions and being anxious. And, we should be anxious for nothing. We should just pray without ceasing and just wait for God. And, and God will lead you and guide you to all truth. And so you have to understand that. And what I had to learn is that God will give me strength for the wait.
Yes.
He will give me strength for the wait, and he will give me favor for the journey. And I tell you, and even in this process of, even going through this, and I'm going to be real, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I really, I gotta find a job because that's what I'm used to. I've been employed since I was 15 years old. My first job was at Pat's Country Corner Bakery. I've been working since 15 and an educator, like I said, going on into 18 years now. And so your mind will put you back in the state, I need to be working for somebody doing something. But what I learned is that I had to wait on God, and not only wait, but with the waiting, I had to assess and I had to adjust. I had to assess my situation, assess my life, and adjust it to the place where I am. I couldn't live the same way that I was living. I couldn't do the same things that I was doing. And I had to adjust. And guess what? I'm good. I am good. I am happy. I'm at peace because I am pursuing the things that God has for me to do. And so that's why we really have to wait on God, because if not, we're just wasting time and we're going to have to do a do-over. And what if we're not offered that opportunity or that second chance?
So to our listeners, the wait is worth it. The wait is worth it.
The wait is worth it. The wait is worth it. Yes, the wait is worth it because you are worth it. That is right.
Yes. I love it. Dr. Green, so please tell us more about the Deborah C. Offer Bulgin Memorial Foundation. I know you created that through your mom. So would you please talk to us more about that and how we can give and support to your amazing foundation?
Sure. So, again, I started it 5 years ago, and every year in October we have a really big gala called the Deborah C. Offer Bulgin Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence Black Tie Award Gala. And at the award gala, we do give a college recipient a scholarship, and we honor women who are nominated by their peers and their colleagues around the impact that they have made in their community, neighborhood, or world. And so we take contributions, we take donations, we take sponsorships, we don't have little events throughout the year, and we just like donors and people that want to contribute and sponsor and things of that nature. And we also give back charitable donations in the name of mothers, of daughters who have lost their mothers. So we call it the Daughters of Women of Virtue. And so their mothers have passed away, and what we do is we make a charitable donation that they would like in the name of their mother. And so this was all, again, like I said, actually birthed around the loss of my mom, because I just wanted, on Mother's Day, I didn't want a mourning cry. I wanted to celebrate her. On Christmas, I didn't want a mourning cry. I wanted to honor her greatness. So you think about those times and those life events where it presents opportunities to be sad and to mourn. No, but I choose to be happy, and I choose to celebrate her memory. And this is how I do it. And not only do I do it for me, but I encourage other women as well, because I see so many other women that have lost their mom as well. and I see, the hurt and the pain that they still feel, and I always try to encourage them and say, hey, let's honor her memory and honor her legacy, because legacy is not what you've accomplished, but it's what you prepared others to do. So how has your mom prepared you and others to be the great women that we are, the great mothers, the great wives, and how are we going to celebrate that? And so this is what Deborah Siofra Bulgin Memorial Foundation is based off of, and how we continue to give back in her name.
Well, I just want to thank you and commend you, Dr. Green, for reaching back and pulling forward, creating this space, and just being able to help women who have been through that season, right, that have been through that season, and let them know that they don't have to mourn, they can celebrate, and they honor the legacy of their mother. Like, just thank you for just giving people strength, giving people hope.
Yes. And, actually, you're going to have days, from experience, you're going to have days where you're going to be in a place where you're going to feel like I'm all by myself, or I'm lonely, things of that nature. But that's when you have to pull yourself up and pull out that memory. And like I said, to celebrate and honor and to walk in what she has taught you, what your mom has taught you. And that's what I try to do every day. I try to be a better wife, a better mom, a better sister, a better friend. I try to be that because my mom taught me. And like I always say, when my mom passed away, I had to pull up my big girl boots, and I had to grow up, really fast, because I didn't have that anymore. And then most recently, 2 months ago, I lost my grandmother. I said, now I got to really grow up. I got to really grow up and walk and fulfill the things that they have taught me. So, yes.
And look, as I stated before, your book just expresses everything. To everything, there is a season. It's just perfect. Yes.
Thank you.
So we know that you already bought the table, Dr. Green, so I'm just going to ask you the question I ask all of my guests. How did you create your seat at the table?
And I told you, Ashley, I created my seat at the table by honoring what God has for me to do and just walking in that purposefully. And, during that time, I tell you, when I reflect over so many things, like, just, the critique that I received from the critics, and, the isolation, and the people that, say, oh, I support you, but they never buy your book, they never come to your events, they congratulate you, celebrate you, but that's about it, and I'm keeping it real, Ashley, because it has not been a pretty journey. It's been a rough journey. God had to, isolate me, and, people that I thought were my friends that I trusted, had to take them away from me. So it got to a place where it was nobody but me and God, and nobody but me. And he said, and when you talk about a table, he said, I'll make your enemies your footstool. So while I'm sitting at the table, the enemies are my footstool. And so God prepares this table in the presence of my enemies. So it was nothing that I did. It was all God's doing. And I'm so thankful for that now I am at a place where, guess what, if it's just, and I say this honestly, I say, if it's just one person sitting there at an event, I said, guess what? It was ordained and predestined for that one person, and I fulfilled the assignment that's on my life, and that's all that matters. I don't need names. I don't need numbers. I don't need titles. All I need is to fulfill what God has prepared this table for me to do.
And what you just said just hit in so many areas, because I'm sure you probably heard the sermon from Sarah Jakes, Eat Like a King, and you just touched on, some things that she was talking about where he just put you in a room and they didn't know who you were, right? Because he had to show you who they were before he gets you to the next level, so you'll know who can go, because everybody can't go, right?
Everybody can't go.
I love it. So during our process, we know that everybody has a process. You talked about it the whole time. So what did failure teach you, Dr. Green?
What did failure teach me? Failure taught me that even though I failed, guess what? I can get up again. Yes, I might have failed, but I can get up and I can try again. See, what happens is when you fail if you don't try again. But now that I fail, and I use this already, now I can assess and adjust the situation, and I can make it better, and I can try again. And I'm not going to repeat the same, lesson or mistake that I've already gone through, because I've already learned the principle, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to become better.
I love it because it's so important. You're right, Dr. Green, that we understand the lesson, right? And that we don't repeat it, because that's part of learning it.
Exactly. Don't repeat it. And I said, because if you have to repeat it, you may not get the same teacher. You may not get the same assignment. Exactly. You may not get the same thing you got the last time. It probably will be a little harder. And so are you really ready for that? No, you don't want to repeat that. Learn it and keep moving.
Learn it and keep moving.
And keep moving.
Yes. So what did success teach you?
What did success teach me? Success has taught me to be humble. It has really taught me to be humble, that no matter how far you go or how successful you are, just be humble. There is a verse that says, the humble will be exalted and the exalted will be humble. So you don't want to, again, think yourself highly than what you are. Just be humble. Just continue to, not like you said, when you walk in a room, it's not about titles and all that stuff. It's about your light. It's about who you're making an impact and a difference. It's about who you're influencing. And so success has really taught me how to continue to be humble, because guess what? The same way you got it, I can take it away from you. Just like that, at any given moment, And so just be humble in your success. And that's what it has taught me, to be humble.
Yes, being humble. And just the more you elevate, the more you need to stay on your knees.
Yes, that's the truth there. Lord have mercy. Lord, you done said a mouthful. We can drop the mic now, Ashley.
That's what we got to understand. The more you elevate, the more you're going to have to stay on your knees.
Stay on your knees. And listen, I even saying, look, prayer is not a position. It's a lifestyle. So you ain't got to stay on your knees. You better be walking and talking all day, every day.
All day.
All day.
All day. Yes. So, Dr. Green, you have done some amazing things throughout, starting out in 2019, I consistently follow you. I do business with you, collaborate with you, and you're just amazing. You practice what you preach. And, I mean, you have knocked quarter one and quarter two out the box. We're in you ready to go into quarter three. So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019, Dr. Green?
Yes, so I'm in the process. We're working through some things. It's almost ready, but launching a book called Coaching Champions, How to Understand the Players Before Giving the Plays, a guide to improvement and success. And so with that, I did that collaborative work with 4 other educators and a entrepreneur, business, financial coach who's phenomenal. And so we did this collaborative work with these ladies, and Dr. Dayton Bedden, he's the superintendent in a school district in Pennsylvania, wrote the foreword. And so now what I'm doing with that book is I'm using that book as a platform when I go out to do the leadership coaching and personal professional development coaching. I also have a webinar that's being offered, and you can actually be a certified champion coach. And so I have this webinar that will be taking place. The first session, first 4-week session will start in July, and then we'll rotate, of course, once the fall starts again. And so that is posted online and at my website. You can do that. Also, with coming up in October, I have the gala every year. It's October 12th in Annapolis, Maryland. And so this year with the gala, I'm having a woman conference. And I talked about earlier that, that the chances might not come around again. And if they do, what are you going to do? Because 5 years ago when I did the gala, God spoke to me about actually doing a women's conference, and I did not do it in fear. And so how do we overcome fear? We overcome it with faith. And so, I literally, Ashley, I saw how God took it. Somebody else did something similar and actually put me in a place to actually help them. And so, it was almost God said, see, I told you, you could have did it. You know what I'm saying? You could have did it for me, because you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And so when God brought it up again, it was like, okay, I'm going to do it. If you had the vision, give me the provision. You can give me the resources. And people have truly been pouring out and have been blessing me and, getting donors and sponsors and things of that nature. So in a few days, we're going to share who the speakers are at the conference. Also at the conference, we're going to have a book launch. So I'm excited because we are having our first anthology, Volume 1 of the Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence, character, Wisdom, Courage, and Strength book collaboration. And so that will be launched at the Women's Conference also October 11th. So I'm excited about that. And I'm mostly excited is because these women that have contributed their time, talent, and sharing the transparency of their stories, they're also giving back. And so they all will be noted for contributors this year to the scholarship and the charitable donations. So I'm excited because they didn't just see the interest of their story. They also thought, hey, I have a hand in giving back and helping someone else well. So their contributions will go towards the scholarship, will go towards the charitable donations that we give in honor of the Daughters of Women of Virtue. So I'm excited about that. And just continuing to just see what God has for me. He gives us these witty inventions and ideas. And so I just write them down and I say, okay, let's go, God. Let's go, God. And that's what we do. That's what we do. So I'm excited.
Amazing, Dr. Green. You have some amazing things coming up. Super congratulations on all of these great things. Will you please let our listeners know how they can purchase and support tickets to the gala? How can they do that?
Yes, so on my website, everything, you go to my website, you find seasons.com. When you go to the homepage, it's right there. You can click on the link. It'll direct you to information about the Women's Conference as well as the gala, and you can purchase tickets, be a sponsor, donor, vendor, if you like to vend it, be an exhibitor. It's all there. We have such a great time. Just to share a little bit, it'll be, like I said, coming out next week, but we have comedian Tanya Lewis, who actually comes every year and provides some humor for us. We have a Why Explain It band that actually plays. We have this year, Ellen Bryan from WUSA 9 News will be our co-host, and so I'm excited. We have vendors that will be there, special guests, and so speakers, and we have some wonderful, oh my gosh, Ashley, yes, we have some great ladies that have been nominated, and so I'm excited, and I can't wait to tell them. We're not going to let the secret out yet, but we have some great ladies. Oh, Ashley, a girl, I'm telling you, wait, these are some phenomenal ladies that have been, like I said, nominated, and the nominations, they don't close until June 22nd. So if you still know a woman out there who walks in for who's a woman of virtue, walking excellence, please nominate her. And so, like I said, everything is right on my website.
Well, I'm excited, Dr. Green. You got some amazing things going on. Look, listeners, please get involved. Follow her, support her. Dr. Green is blessing people. She's reaching back and pulling forward. She's making ways for other people. Dr. Green, well, we know we give God the credit first and then you. But come on, he's working some amazing things through you. Yes, he is. To God
be the glory. Thank you, Ashley. And he's working some amazing things through you, too. And that's why I always say when purpose connects with purpose, it produces powerful connections. So thank you for also letting your light shine.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green. And will you please let the listeners know how they can follow and support you before we go?
Sure. So you can follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, all of that. You can follow me at Tasheka Green or simply at 2E Seasons, and you can find me and all my information and just stay in touch with us. And we have this new Facebook group called Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence, and we're doing some amazing things. And so this week we just talked about I am worth it, and so you are worth it, and just know that you are priceless and valuable, and just walk in everything God has for you. So, yes, follow us, and let's make these connections so that we can change the world.
Yes, I love it. Yes. And please join the group. As she said, it is amazing. I think Dr. Green opened that group about a week ago. Oh, we're packed already. It's an amazing group.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you too. And thank you so much, Dr. Green, for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. And I can't wait to invite you back before the end of 2019.
Yes, and I'll be glad to come back. And thank you so much. And I got to get you on the talk show, my talk shows, Turning Dreams into Reality on Vox Waves, second Saturday, 3 to 4. So you can catch us there too every second Saturday on Vox Waves, 3 to 4, Turning Dreams into Reality.
And how can they be a guest on your show, Dr. Green? And
they could be a guest. Yep, you could be a guest. Just go to my webpage, again, 2eseasons.com. Contact us, fill in your information, and we will follow up with you.
So please reach out to her. Dr. Green is amazing. Connect with her. Collaborate with her. Reach out, follow, support. So thank you again, Dr. Green, for coming to the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you, and you be blessed, my sister.
You too, my sister. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore. I would also like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, as well as my other intern, Tyler, from Tennessee State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.